Lots of people say that this will probably have nothing to do with the topic that they have today. Tourism with habitat preservation? That just does not make sense in my brain, some people would say. Okay, this might. But what the heck is this? Well, what if I told you that this is the Great Barrier Reef? Some people would go and become denying. Hey, there are laws everywhere. There's no need to worry about all of this. It's just a waste of time to worry about this. Go ahead and spend doing whatever you want to do. While others would go on the very average and very extreme part, saying, there are no laws and we need laws. Governments are stupid for not doing laws. Well, that's pretty rare. But most people would probably be going like me, like this. Sure, there are laws, but I don't think they're enough to actually conserve everything here, especially since that we also have to deal with the problem with global warming and the other natural disasters like hurricanes or typhoons or cyclones, wherever you're from. Some people actually think that innovation was a terrible idea because innovation since the 20th century, well, at least after the war 20th century, it just started harming the planet, and that without those innovations, we could be living in a much better society right now. Why don't we just live as if we were in the 1960s, but with minus the Cold War, and we know everything that we know now today? And this is what I think. We need to spread awareness. We need to go ahead and try to destroy poverty and we should go ahead and try to achieve all 18 global goals. And that is just the start of all this. I just scratched the surface here. And right now, what I think we should do is conserve and preserve. Habitat preservation. Global issues, number 11. For me, there's a lot of things that we need to do to get ahead in habitat preservation. Now, I can split this video into two parts. First of all, we're gonna first talk about the preservation part. Let's call that P. Then we're going to talk about the conservation part, P and C. No, it's not personal computer. Stop actually joking around on these topics, Sean. It's nothing good here, okay? So preservation and conservation. In the preservation part, you have the animal orphanages, and in those animal orphanages, you also have reserves. And by reserves, I mean reserves for animals too. Animal reserves. You have also governments have passed lots of laws to go ahead and counteract all this and to help protect the species. Also, usually bribes are the things that counteract the laws. And lots of people like money more than saving animals, unless you're one of those extreme conservationist people. Okay, and you also have preservation, and for conservation, well, here all you have to do is conserve, or you can just add more to the ecosystem. You can rewild and habitat. Okay, let me just open the whiteboard here. It's some notes. If you might remember, do you guys watch CNN 10? Well, in a recent episode of CNN 10, they made an episode about the golf course, a golf course with everything inside, all the literal things of a golf course. With this is the putty where you have to make sure it goes into, and this is the hole. This is the hole. In a recent episode of CNN 10, at the time I'm recording this, they've actually made a video about rewilding this whole habitat. So the golf course went back into the wild, and now they're trying to make it public. These are just one of the few examples of how rewilding something actually works better. Because if you give something back to the wild, then that actually means the habitat will live on forever. Maybe not forever, but last long enough to actually have an impact to people and the wilderness around it. It will restabilize the ecosystem. You'll restabilize the eco life. Everything will be as it used to be, more stable. I'm actually surprised as some people actually think humans are the problems, and if humans never existed, none of these problems onto Earth would have happened. But also, I'm actually surprised that they haven't suicided too, because if they say humans are the problems, then do you really think that they'd live? That's just my opinion here, guys, but I actually don't mean suicide. But I'm saying humans are the problem, but they can also be the solution. And no, I'm not talking about moving to Mars. Not talking about moving to Mars at all, people. In fact, I'm just saying that can solve the Earth's problems. And every problem on Earth that we tackle first can lead to part of the solution and part of lessening the impact on other problems. Because if we solve literally every solution, then I think we'd be a much more better place on this whole entire Earth. And if you guys actually don't believe me about that, why we need to do habitat preservation thing, it's okay. Where I'm living, nobody's destroying our habitat. Ecosystem is flourishing. Well, you might not think so once I tell you these 3 case studies. And actually, I'm still a little surprised that some people believe that there's no impact, that there's no point in habitat preservation. Because I'm pretty sure those people are either dumb or they just want to deny. Number 1, we go to the down under country of Australia, mate. Land of boomerangs, kangaroos, koalas, and eucalyptus trees. Lots of eucalyptus trees. As I already mentioned, the Great Barrier Reef, it has over 400 kinds of coral and countless ocean species. However, recently, because of bleach and random chemicals that they use in farming, like pesticides, for example, that seeped into the coral barrier reef, it actually starts destroying the coral reef. And coral reefs need new dead coral every, so and so often, and very, very new supply of new coral to actually keep on the coral reef. Meaning, if we don't do something right now, the Great Barrier Reef, or GBR as some like to say, will die. Next, we have Papua New Guinea. It has rainforests. Its rainforests support 5% of the entire world species. In fact, if it's just 5% of the entire world species, that's still a lot of the world species, too. In fact, it has rare orchids on it. It also is the home for tree kangaroos. However, its threats is hunting, farming, mining, and logging. Finally, we arrive in the icy desert of Antarctica. In Antarctica, it's the last great wilderness in the world, and it is home to lots of species. In fact, it's also home to the penguins, seals, whales, and lots of fragile plants. However, the menaces that is being causing it to actually go ahead and destroy its world is tourism, invasive species, and global warming. And because of all this, especially global warming here, it's the reason why it's actually destroying all the habitats. I like penguins. In fact, I had a penguin toy when I was young, and I just gave it to my cat as his little toy, who's now sleeping right here. Hello. And it's because of that Antarctica is also being destroyed too. But what can we do to actually make up for all this? What can we do for our own little step, like us regular old people, unless you aren't regular old people? If you're not regular old people, you can actually go to the battle site of where all of this habitat preservation, the real deal, is actually happening too. And actually go ahead and save them. Go ahead to reservations that are restricted access. And actually, if you're a congressman or you're a government official, then you can go ahead and try your best to actually help pass laws for habitat preservation. However, if you're ordinary people like me, you can go ahead and do all this. like a couple of classmates of mine actually said that they're going to go on a cleaning the trash on the sea for like service. I'm pretty sure they're only doing that for service points for school, but I'm not gonna complain. But that's one small thing you can do to actually help habitat preservation. You watch Mr. Beast, right? Well, you might remember his hashtag Team Trees, and you might also remember his hashtag Team Seas, right? Well, you could go ahead if you were already that time and you already donated to that, and you've already had one of your first steps in habitat preservation. But if you really want to go ahead and go the next step, well, you can do this. Basically, you can go ahead and help preserve, as if it was a hashtag Team Preserve. After that, you can also help restore habitats, and you can spread your awareness about it by documenting it and probably publishing it on the internet. So you can save big cats if you're like one of those professional people, or other endangered species too. You can go ahead and look around your neighborhood and see what people are doing to actually destroy the ecosystem. And if you go to the beach or somewhere that has a lot of endangered species, if you somehow have access to it and you know you have a way to actually save them and at least help them, then go ahead and do it. Also, that doesn't really mean just go ahead and keep wild cats in your home. You can help preserve as if you're volunteers in animal orphanages, and that's what you can do as it. You can spread awareness, you can help restore habitats, and you can also donate and volunteer to help. So that's the end. And I hope you guys enjoyed that episode. I'll see you guys soon. Shanhan out. Peace.